So there was a book, Diana in Her Own Words, and the interviews that she did. Don't know if you had a chance to look at the book, but I imagine you've seen the interviews that she did. What's your take on that?
Well, my take on it is that when Diana was telling you anything, you had to be very careful what to believe. I mean, my first Diana book, Diana in Private, The Princess Nobody Knows, started out as an authorized biography. I even went into the palace about it with Diana's consent. It was going to be a biography focusing on her charity work for three of her charities that were three of my charities. Halfway through the book, interviews for the book, either she twigged or somebody said something to her. I suspect somebody said something to her. And she realized, because she said it, this is my get out of jail card. She realized if she spilt the beans, that she would be able to leave the royal family. I was perfectly happy to go along with it, as long as I thought it was the truth. When I realized that she'd done what Robert Lacey has just done with his book, completely changed the story in the middle of the recounting of it. You know, you cannot say, as an example, such and such is a wonderful person, and they've been totally honest and they've never done anything to harm me. And then when it becomes in their interest, actually, they're a real rotter and they've been really beastly and, and when I realized that, when she changed the story to be accurate, and I checked on it, because I mean, the problem with Diana, where I was concerned, is we knew so many of the same people, and I was friendly with half her relations. And, there was nothing that she said that I couldn't check. And also, I knew more about some aspects of her life than she did, because my boyfriend at the time was James Buchanan Jardine, who was a cousin of Maggie Strathmore's wife. And she used to try to pump me for information about what was going on up at Glamis. She used to say, well, you know far more than I do, blah, 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 blah. So when I realized that she was lying, because she's going from, actually, I have nothing against Charles. He's a really decent man. He allows me to have my lovers, blah, 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 and da, da, da. And he has Camilla, I have James, and I've had da, 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 and one or two that she denied as well, which I knew. So, which was fine. I wasn't going to humiliate her, I mean, I think I mentioned 4 in the book. And believe me, I was extremely generous, because you could have added at least 1 0. And she was, because she was looking for love. She wanted love. And I'm not decrying that. But when she started, she went from that Charles was this really nice guy and that he allowed her to have her own life. And he even used to allow James Hewitt to go and stay at Highgrove and instruct his children. I mean, how broad-minded is that, for goodness sakes? And then all of a sudden, Charles is this monster and this beast, and Charles has made her life terrible, and Camilla has but she'd already told me about Barry Manicky. She'd even told me that how the whole thing started. It's in my book. She'd even told me that she believed that Barry Manicky had been wiped out by the Secret Services to prevent him from speaking about their romance. I mean, blah, blah. I didn't believe that, by the way. I knew that's what she believed, but I thought his accident was completely an accident. But I put it in my book. So, I mean, how does she go from that to, it's Camilla? And she knew that in the early days it wasn't Camilla, that Camilla had nothing, that Camilla wasn't there. And I thought, no, and I But I also realized if she's changed like this and she's done a vote farce and she says my book is going to be the get out of jail card because she wants out, and she also has decided that the way to get out, and this I figured out very simply, was to make herself into the victim. Because, of course, as we now know, nowadays it's almost obligatory for every perpetrator to present himself or herself as a victim. You know, it's so tiresome. I mean, you know, have the courage of your convictions, for God's sake, you know. I mean, if you're going to be splendid, be splendid. Don't be a mealy-mouthed, splendid version of, oh, I'm wonderful, but I'm a victim. I'm marvelous, I'm a victim. And so I realized if she'd done it to me, she was going to do it to someone else. And I thought, wow. I realized I had think long and hard about whether I wanted to proceed and publish the book. I had a signed contract. I had got a part of the advance. And then I realized if I have to give back the money, and I'm not going to get what I want as well, which was baby money to adopt my children. I wanted to be free of my family. And I became free of them as a result of this. I realized as well, if I did not proceed with the book, her version would be published by someone else. And I thought it's actually my duty, since I know the truth and I know the ambush that is waiting for the Prince of Wales down the line. And had it been fair, I'd have allowed him to be ambushed. I'd have actually ambushed him myself. But because I knew it wasn't fair, I thought, no. And my book was published before the Morton book. And of course, then, Andrew Neil, Andrew Morton, Rupert Murdoch, all hopped into the frame to sort of denigrate the royal family. And remember, Rupert Murdoch is a Republican. He has no good thing to say about the monarchy. He doesn't really approve of the monarchy. And the agenda being pushed by the Sunday Times using the Morton book was that the royal family was cold and harsh and cruel, and Diana was this poor, sweet, innocent victim. She could be sweet, she certainly wasn't poor, and she was nobody's victim. Charles, if anything, was her victim.